It's an experience, guys, to finally have finished Parasyte the Maxim. Kiseiju has finally ended, and it's been a fucking experience. Like, at first I was originally going to say in this video, yeah, I'm doing all the episodes. Nope, I'm a lying cunt. That's one thing I realized, I'm a lying cunt, and realized I didn't do all the episodes, but I've been watching it since day one, and 6 months, of watching this series, and I feel like I wouldn't have had this much of the experience if I marathoned the Parasyte. And it was worth it. It was honestly worth it for the entire ride. Fucking just loved everything about the series, and definitely it felt like more for this episode. If people were expecting like more of an actiony ending than what we had, no. This episode 24, was actually more of an epilogue. It felt like, what sort of like, those little special chapters, little OVAs that you occasionally have, like the Kill la Kill OVAs, like, oh, this is what happened happened after the series. This felt like one of those episodes. And when I saw this, you get to see, like, him in his dreams, like, thinking about, like, Migi, and it's like, after all this information that I've absorbed from Godo, it's like, I'm kind of actually going to just be turning off. You're going to have your hand back. I honestly, it sounded like Migi wanted to process this information, but then at the same time, he was trying to say, here you go, here's your life back. Like, it was because of me that I finally did it. And I feel like there's more to it as well. It's like, since what he actually did to Godo, it was maybe his own little way of saying, what you still judged him in your own terms. So maybe, yeah, Migi in a way was kind of punishing him, but at the same time, thank you for everything. I've become such a unique thing because it sounded like Migi was going to die. It was like he was just going to be in his cells. And I'm guessing as well, because Migi wasn't active at all, I'm guessing like Shinichi hasn't got his super strength powers now. Like, that's one thing I was noticing in this episode, that maybe, maybe he's like lost all his strength. Maybe he hasn't do that since like Migi was deactivated. And it was just so sad when he was like, this is like how you see everybody. You get to see his mother, and it was like kind of Shinichi's just interested. He was, as you see like Migi's true form, and he's like, oh, so this is what you think of me. Like, as you see like Kana, you see his mother and everyone, he's like, oh, so that's what you see me? He's like, well, dude, you're a fucking hand, and that's what you always look like. And, like, the policeman, the detective, all the people that died, like that one girl that died in like the parking lot, like old Shinichi, like, it was like emotional just seeing this stuff. And it was just like when they all formed into one, and it was just like him just disappearing into the light, and it's like, goodbye, Shinichi. And then after that, it was Shinichi waking up, and he's like, how could I ever forget about you? Because he really wanted him to forget him, and it's like, so it really wanted his hand to like start working. It's like, me, I will never forget you. And it was like just some emotional shit. And the episode just continued on from having like that crazy nut job that was there, that murder, the guy that like jacked off in the fucking like interrogation room, following both Shinichi and like Murano from their date. And it was just kind of nice just to actually even just see them getting along together. Like, you get to see like all of like Shinichi's like friends, like you get to see like all Murano's friends like just hanging out, and them just enjoying their date and showing, since everything's gone back to normal. I gotta say, Shinichi looks a little bit different. Like, it looks like a little bit of the time skip looked like it happened. So I'm guessing like, this is like summer break going through. And I really just enjoyed seeing this. It was just an emotional thing as they just left, and it was like, yeah, see you guys later. And it's them enjoying themselves. And then the second that piece of shit fucking grabs Murano, he just goes, Sadomi, and just grabs him, like, so. And that was another thing where I'm guessing like that's where his powers was going, because let's be honest, like that Shinichi could have fucking just gone through that shit, and like he's trying to kill like this couple that were like trying to fucking like make out up on the top of the fucking building and like cut them up and shit, and it was just fucked up. And when he was asking, saying, you're really human, you're a fucking monster, humans were created in the like to be cannibals in the first, it honestly sounded like he was trying to be a lot like that one guy when he got shot down and he was a human, and he was talking about, we're messing up the food chain and stuff. Like, he was nuts as it was from the fucking beginning, but he's like, everyone's a damn liar, but you're different, since, he already gathered that, you're part human, part parasite, and even Murano saw this, and it was like, that's what the thing was. Like, when she saw that, and it's like, this motherfucker, he dare do that. As like Murano just tells you, at first, I could never catch up to you, but now I'm finally here, and I got too far, and it's like, you know what, I always love you. And I was just like, no, Murano, no. And it's like, and she's like, I've got spunk, I don't give a fuck, just call the police. And it's like, I'm gonna have some fun with you, Shinichi, like a true fucking man fucking ran in and he fucking pushed her off the building, and I was like, he took a fucking knife to the arm, fucking punched him straight in the face, knocking his teeth out, real manly shit there. And he's just like, oh my god, I miss Murano, like that. He just goes, trying to reach, he's like, Sadomi, like that. And right at the last second, and I'm guessing this is like as he was crying, he grabbed Murano. Or more I say, like, Migi grabbed her legs at the end, even though he was trying to do his intimation. She's like, I've always got your back. And that was just like an emotional fucking ending to see that. Shinichi finally crossed that line where he was like, we have joined a coalition where Parasyte and human can be nice things. And that's one thing that we saw at the start of this episode, when we saw like the Parasytes, they just eat normal food now, they kind of just blended into society. So it's like, hey, it never happened. But when he got that and the two were just holding each other with his like knife in his hand, like saying, you know, telling him about that time with the puppy, saying, you know what, I buried that. And it's like, yeah, I knew you do that because that's the Shinichi I know. And it's like, oh, just a fucking beautiful ending. Like, people were probably going to say, oh, it's cliche stuff, he saved the girl and stuff. And it's like, no, regardless of what, I really wanted to, like, I really loved Murano. I remember at the start, like, I didn't care for her too much, but then she just became a really important, deep character, and I just loved her relationship with, like, fucking Shinichi. But when he was screaming, it was like, ah! And he just got fucking saved, and it's like, you know, even though she knew at the end that he was a parasite, that he knew, like, you know, he's part of Parasite, she didn't care. She loved the man for who he was, for who, you know, she generally cared for. She saw the suffering that she was going through, and she was upset that she couldn't do anything, but at the same time, she was just like, oh, I wish I could do something. And as much as I love opening one, you know, it's like, it was really inappropriate if we didn't hear it, but I'm so glad the series ended with, yeah, it's the right time. Perfect to end on that. It would be weird if that was just like, had that punch and then it goes into like, it would be so weird. Fucking beastly as fuck. I've loved watching every single episode of this weekly. It's been an experience. Fucking loved it. Like, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm gonna give this episode a 10. Yeah, it was very speech heavy, very like crazy and stuff, like, but regardless of what, it was interesting, and it just showed the real, you know, stuff of humanity. Like, this is what happens when humanity's pushed to a corner. And this also shows, you know, the bonding. But I feel like the episode is very heavily between the relationship on Murano and fucking, like, Shinichi. It's just such a deep fucking story. And it just goes to show there are some fucking quality series that were made in, like, the late... I believe this was made in the late 80s, this series was. And it was just a beautiful fucking story. Like, it just pretty up with some nice little fucking animation. And the story was perfect already. And it was like... out of all the stuff that's pretty much been going on for 2 seasons right now, and probably for watching this entire season, this has been my favourite. I fucking love Parasyte. It's an amazing series. I hope people that are seeing this video, if they do, watch Parasyte now, because I fucking loved it. It was deep, it was emotional, and it was great. Like, you know, near perfect, like 9 to 9.5 out of 10 overall series. But maybe I might do a full series with you, but let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this. But that is all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.